Hi everyone and welcome to Club 5 episode 13 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. So we've reached the final day of our first season in the Premier League with Watford. Will it be our only season? I don't know. We might look for work in the summer, who knows, as our journeyman continues. But I'm really happy to continue to keep rebuilding Watford as much as I can. The final game of the season for us, though, is a really tricky one against Arsenal, who are the current newly crowned Premier League champions. Tricky game to go out on, nothing to lose, so let's see how we get on. So in terms of our own performance this season at Watford, first season in the Premier League, I'm actually really happy with how it's gone primarily. I mean, we can't move up a spot today. Southampton are 4 points clear of us, but we could potentially move down a spot if results go against us. Villa currently 3 points behind us. They've got a slightly better goal difference as well. So as I say, if the results go in their favour, then potentially they could jump above us into 13th. But anywhere that we now finish, I think is decent. We were due to finish about 16th. We're going to finish at least 14th, possibly 13th, depending on today's results. And I'm relatively happy with that. We've got some issues to sort out. In terms of the squad, you can see that this middle column here is our average ratings for the season. You've got several team members that are over the 7 average rating for a season. The likes of Dane Scarlett have been our absolute superstar. 29 goals and 8 assists in 39 starts and 1 sub-appearance from him. He's been spectacular. Supported by some very good players as well. We've had some very good performances, a couple in our attacking area, a couple in our defensive area. The issue that we've mainly got is how you get the best out of our central midfield area. We've got a couple that are there. The more attacking versions of our midfield players, Douglas and Vieira, have done okay. The more sort of workmanlike and defensive midfielders maybe struggled a little bit. And we won't even talk about our cursed left fullback position, because at this point, it really does feel like it is. Nobody's able to succeed in that one, apparently. So we might have to change that next season. Who knows? Maybe we'll come in with no left fullback. Watch this space for that one. But yeah, for today, we play Arsenal. The run of form that we've had leading up to the run-in has been very patchy, at least over the last few months. We had a good month back in January, and we had a good month back in October that kind of really set us in a good foundation for our Premier League season. But you can see since February, since the end of the January transfer window, it has been really hard to get any form of consistency, and we've basically failed to do so. We do get one final chance this season, though, to win back-to-back games, but we are against the Premier League champions. The competition page will show you at the top of the table, Arsenal champions, currently 6 points above Leicester, and then Chelsea and Newcastle behind them as well. The likes of Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham, all well outside of the top 4 or 5 at the moment. So that's an interesting landscape for the Premier League. In terms of what else we did this season, we got knocked out by Liverpool in the 4th round of the FA Cup, knocked out the 4th round of the Carabao Cup by Man City. Those were tricky early stage draws, really, I think, for us. I feel like we could be a little bit hard done by on that one, but it is just what it is. Anyway, one more game to play. Let's see if we can find a way to create an upset over the current champions. So let's get into it. So in terms of personnel, the only player out of the action completely today is Gabby, our central midfielder option. He's out for the next 5 weeks, unfortunately, with a knock that he sustained. Soto is on the bench. He's got a slight fitness issue, but it's not a major problem at all. So he'll find his way onto the bench today. So pretty much we go in with what we've been going in with for a little while now. The only change that I've made is in the back line, really, just to give Ramsey a run out instead of Mendes at right fullback. It's something that I'm thinking about changing for next season. So good opportunity to see Ramsey play there in our first team 11. Other than that, though, everybody else is pretty much fit and ready to go in terms of our first team 11 from this season. So for the game against the current Premier League champions, newly crowned, We're going to go in with Bursick in goal, Ramsey at right back, Mitchell at left back, Collins and Ryan in central defence, Douglas, Kamara and Mosquera in central midfield, with Vieira in the shadow striker role behind Ko George and Dane Scarlett. And a whole bunch of people on the bench ready to make an impact should we need them to. So, for the final time this season, let's get into today's game and see what happens. So obviously the odds are not really in our favour today in this game. So I've just gone and said, we've got nothing to lose. Go and show how good we are. Let's have a good performance out there. Who knows whether we'll get it or not, really. I mean, we are away from home at the home of the newly crowned Premier League champions. So this is always going to be a tricky fixture at the best of times anyway. But they're going to be on a high at the moment, you'd imagine. Just at the moment, as you've seen in our run-in for the last couple of months, we've been very, very inconsistent. So it's something that we need to work on next season. And maybe that's a change of shape, maybe a change of style of play, couple of personnel changes. All that could potentially be in the melting pot for next season for Watford as we continue to try and improve them. As I said in the build-up to today's game, I don't actually have a problem with sticking around at Watford. If that's the option that's available to me, I will continue to rebuild this team up, try and make them better for next season and be perfectly happy doing it. But we will continue to look around for work and different jobs and different higher up opportunities. I'm intrigued by the landscape, though. I mean, the likes of Leicester, Brighton, Newcastle all seem to be doing very well in the Premier League. Everton are not doing too badly. But the likes of Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Tottenham, they've just seemed to drop a little bit. I mean, Tottenham are down in like 15th or whatever it is. There's some really interesting big club rebuilds in there potentially if we have the opportunity to get one. The only one that I've applied for since being in the Premier League is Man United, just because I'm an IRL Man U fan, couldn't resist, but they didn't even entertain me as a possibility at that point. I'm still finalising my coaching badges and getting the very top ones at the moment. So maybe that will help in the next couple of seasons. So whatever this next couple of seasons brings, I'm going to be happy doing it. I'm really having a good time with the whole save. It's been a lot of fun and a lot of good build-up from right down in the depths of Irish football, if you remember where we started from. That first season or so with Limavady was awful, wasn't it, really? We had to resign ourselves and move on from that. Did we let a goal in there? That was a little bit of an unfortunate one if we did. It looks like it was just on the line somehow, and then something was given as a free kick or something, maybe to clear it away. But anyway, yeah, it was an interesting starting point, wasn't it? And so far, we've made it to the Premier League with Watford. We've stayed in the Premier League with Watford, which is really good. Now, can we move up the Premier League with Watford? We'll have to see that for next season. For now, though, 45 minutes on the clock, just before half-time, we have an attempt at goal from a corner kick over the top of the bar, and we might just get in at 0-0 at half-time, and we do. That's not too bad. I mean, let's be very, very honest. Their possession stats is ridiculous. They've had nearly 70% of it compared to ours. They've also had 17 shots at goal, 9 on target to our 6 and 2. They've doubled our XG rating, the expected goals from the chances created. So they should be ahead. They really, really should. But they're not. And we're still in the game. So we can pump the fists and just say, we owe Arsenal. Go out there, get revenge. I don't even know whether we will. But now it feels like we've found ourselves a way to be in the game, still be level with them. Now we can kind of just poke and push a little bit and see whether there's a way that we can break them. Obviously, there's as much of a chance, if not more so, that they're going to do that to us. But we'll see whether we can hold out a little bit of luck. Again, we get a bit there. They hit the woodwork from a very good shot on the far side of the penalty box, and we do boot it clear in the end, but the pressure continues to show down the left-hand side for Arsenal. Top of the box, they then blast the ball over the top of the bar. Quality in front of goal hasn't quite been their thing so far in this particular match. And again, they come down the left-hand side. Again, they put that ball in. We drop them back into midfield a little bit. and we come out to meet them and try and push them a little bit in terms of pressing them, it doesn't really work, and we get very, very lucky again. I think it might have even been an own goal, but somehow with the post, we scramble it clear again, and they get another chance at the top of the box, and this time they hit the top of the bar, and it goes crashing down the not goal side of the line. They are doing absolutely everything other than score a goal, and the goal is going to come. If we keep letting them have these chances, eventually one of these is going to go in. This is extraordinary. I don't think I've seen too much like this in the last little while of playing Football Manager. We have been absolutely battered in this second half, and somehow, so far, we've managed to keep them out. I don't think we're going to for 90 minutes, to be honest, the way this is going, but for 71 minutes, miraculously, we are still at 0-0. So whilst we're still at 0-0, I'm not actually going to change too much. There's a last game of the season, so we don't have to worry about player fitness and all that kind of stuff. Now we kind of have to do something about it. It's been coming. We've been talking about it for the last couple of minutes, haven't we, in real time. So eventually they broke us, and the goal has been awarded, and they're very good value for it, let's face it. The last sort of half an hour of this particular match has been all Arsenal just peppering our goal and absolutely battering the woodwork. I suspect the woodwork's going to be quite happy if the season ends after today, to be honest. But yeah, there we go. A lovely ball through. Saka on the end of it, sweeps it home with his left foot. We now get to go and pause the game. We're on a highlight for ourselves. We're still going to make a couple of changes here. Just to personnel, just to freshen it up. Douglas can come out. Nakay can go in. Chat. What am I calling you chat for? This is not Twitch. I'm on Twitch every weekday afternoon, 3 till 5 p.m. UK time, but you are not chat. You are viewers on YouTube. But anyway, comment below. What do I do about my left fullback? Do I just scrap it and go to a back three next season? Because I've now had about 5 fullbacks in the left side position in my time at Watford, and they've all been absolutely dreadful. It's a cursed position completely. Anyway, we've had that conversation before. It's fine. I don't really mean for you to have to solve it, but man, it's a big, big problem. We're going to bring Arkine in. Now, Arkine, we talked about him last episode a little bit. This guy is about 15th in the top 50 next-gen player list, all the youngsters and where they rank. So there's a good rating for him as a good young talent. So next season, we're going to see quite a bit of him, I would imagine. It's just about figuring out how the partnership with him and Scarlett works, because Scarlett's been excellent for us so far this season. We lose the ball, unfortunately, in the Arsenal penalty area, and they get a chance to counter-attack on us. Not really the highlight I was hoping for at that point, really. And they do approach down the left-hand side again. We've got a number of players back, though. Can we deal with this? We can't. We can't. The dams have broken, it feels like, and the water comes pouring through, and that's another counter-attack from Arsenal, charging down at us. And the drive and determination in the box. Watch the players in the box rather than the person with the ball, and see just how much ground they have to make up to get to the ball, where our defenders are too static and not really aware of the danger that's going on. There's some player intelligence in there. There's some physical movement attributes in there that are all having an impact on all of that. But we're just not as good as Arsenal, are we, really? That's the simple reality. And eventually, after 75 minutes, they figured out how to break us down. And since then, yeah, it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, it comes at a point where we end the season on a little bit of a downturn. That recent form, as I say, as we saw in the schedule, the last few months of the season have been very inconsistent and bordering on the not so inconsistent as a little bit poor in a lot of ways. We're getting a bit of a pasting now. I think probably Arsenal have deserved that pretty much for the amount of woodwork they hit in the first half specifically. They were the dominant force all the way through the fixture, which you'd expect them to be. Little bit of a rebuild again for the summer for Watford, really, just to secure a little bit of a better option in terms of our playing style. I think we might have to move away from the narrow formation, even though that's kind of the best option when I came into the club. Maybe now it's time to move away from that. I've retired this formation as my draft formation as well recently, having had a poor couple of drafts in the FM community. So maybe it's time to go and find some wide men this summer and see what we can do with that one. But for now, it's a bit of a pasting, unfortunately. I mean, if any of those shots had gone in the first half, we could be sort of 6, 7, 8 down by now. So I'm kind of grateful that we're not. But 4 is bad enough. Arsenal will show why they're champions. We will live to fight another day in terms of our Premier League survival. Was never in doubt this season, really. We did really, really well to get us a good sound position fairly early in the season just to help ourselves out a little bit. Let's go hands in pockets. It's just one of those gestures of, it's all unlucky. We'll say I'm not happy with it. We could have been better. We could have fought a little bit more. We could have been in their face a little bit more. But on this particular occasion, didn't quite work out. So we'll send the assistant to that one and move forward. And we'll check the Villa result. And the Villa result is that they lost to Manchester United. And that's a good result for us. It means that we do finish in 13th. In episode 13 of season 5, we finish in 13th. That's all very unlucky for some. And it's been a little bit unlucky for us today in a roundabout kind of way, really. But over the season, I'm actually really, really happy with that. So Arsenal, Leicester, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man City, Brighton all qualify for Europe. Man United, Liverpool, the likes of Tottenham right down in 16th where they finished this season, not having as good a season as you'd expect them to. There's some interesting jobs in all of that. I would like to move up at some point to one of those. We'll just have to see whether it's this summer or not. Let's click through and just finish off this particular season with just a little bit of a look around the club just to see what we've got available to us moving forward. But yeah, ultimately, I think that the overarching season to come up from the Championship and stay in the Premier League is as much as I could ask for. And we've got a little bit more than that, really, just to finish in 13th, away from the relegation fight, really, for pretty much the entire season. So we'll see what happens with all of this. We get some money. We've got a decent amount of finances in the club, to be honest. I mean, we're at 24 million in the overall balance. That will improve with some more prize money that comes in a bit. 36.7 million in the transfer budget that I can spend before the turnover of this season, potentially, and 235k in the wage budget on a weekly basis to spend as well. So there's some players that I can bring in here, I think, to improve our squad. It's just about finding the right ones. In terms of staffing opportunities, let's go to the job centre. There's no opportunities there at the moment. In terms of what's going to be available, Liverpool might come up. Possibly, but we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, everybody else seems fairly stable. A few of the big sides have recently changed their managers. Of course, the other thing that can change is if other countries' clubs sack managers, then some of these Premier League guys will potentially move over there into some of the other foreign leagues. So anything could still open up. But I'm happy at Watford. We're going to rebuild again. If anything else comes up over the summer, we'll make a choice about it. And I'm going to be back next episode for the start of the new season in the Premier League with somebody. Maybe it'll be Watford, maybe it won't. Who knows? But that's going to do it for me today. It was a decent season overall. I think we can improve this squad, definitely. So let's see if we can do that. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.